really know how to start this.
So, welcome to our YouTube channel!
That was so loud, but welcome. I am Mo. Are we gonna say my actual? I'm Morgan,
And
but
I'm
we call me
Jordan,
Mo.
But I'm Joe.
Together,
We're Mojo.
So
We're just gonna start from the beginning.
you all
unanimously.
Sorry, I got tongue tied. Chose to hear our story instead of question and answer, which is dumb.
Guys.
I was like, we were gonna answer.
Why would you not ask us questions?
You could ask us some crazy questions,
we're gonna answer
but
them all.
We're gonna answer them all. But our story, I guess they gotta have a foundation.
True.
Okay.
Morgan's gonna start with some backstory about like how she was raised and how we
got help.
How we got to where we were. That way, like halfway through the video, you guys are like, "What is she talking about?"
Yeah. So I grew up. I'm actually from Arkansas. Didn't even grow up here. I moved here when I was 8. I came from a very religious home. My dad has been in the ministry since he was a kid.
Your mom has 2 though, hasn't she?
Yes, my mom has 2. But my mom was more, she sang in church. That was pretty much all she did. Or she was like a counselor kind of. My dad has always been a preacher. Whether that was preaching in the youth ministry. He was a youth pastor for 10 years. And then when we moved here, he became pastor 3 years after we moved, maybe. So we've always been like really hard in the ministry, which of course y'all know this is not okay when it refers to the Bible. And I had been taught that my whole life, so it never really was an issue. And on top of that, my parents weren't letting me have a relationship with anybody. I wasn't really allowed to date, talk to new people as far as texting. I didn't even have a phone until I was about 14, 15 maybe. So, like, I had a boyfriend, like, but even, like, if my parents found out we held hands on a bus ride or anything like that, like, we got talked to, you know, like, hugs, and, like, they found out we kissed, it was a big deal. So, I sort of grew up with that. So, it didn't really pop in my head, the whole being with a girl thing. I had never really seen it on movies, because they sort of watched what I was seeing on the TV and everything. So that's sort of how I grew up. So keep in mind, that was my mindset going in. And I'd never really been in public schools or anything like that. I was always in a private school. So fast forward, I'm 16.
Before we do that, let me just tell you, like, we're going on 4 years. It'll be 4 in February.
February 7th.
Yeah. So that just gives you some foundation of how long we've been going at this.
We've been going. Check.
Okay.
So fast forward, 2016. I had been through a rough year. 2015, my papa died, and I was just going through a lot of trouble with anxiety, all that stuff, depression, all that stuff, and it was a low year, 14 and 15 for me. So I was really grasping at anything to help me get through something, and I started going and taking early college classes through my private school.
That's basically, if anyone doesn't know, she just come over from her school and like take college courses that if she
as a high schooler.
Yeah, if you transfer, like I was in the early college, so, like starting 9th grade year, we were taking dual enrollment. Mm-hmm. So like all of our classes would transfer when we went on to a 4-year university. So she got the opportunity to start doing that. Continue.
So I was taking them online while going to my high school, but then we got to sophomore year, and I was actually allowed to go on campus to classes, which is where I met this beautiful soul. So, first day I met her, okay? First day I ever saw her.
I don't remember the story, but she swears up and down it happened.
This happened, okay? We're going in the cafe. Me and Karsten, shout out to Karsten, that's my bro for life. We always were like buddies at the college because we always had the same classes.
They played the buddy system.
Buddy. So, we're walking out of the cafe, and like a nice person, okay? I'm just trying to be nice. I'm trying to shine a little light in the world, okay? I hold the door open. Stop. I hold the door open for said lady here. And I hold the door open, and I'm like, doesn't even say thank you. Doesn't. And then whips her head around and, like, glares at me. Flips her hair and keeps walking, and I'm like, did I just meet the mean girl I've seen on movies? What's going on? So I looked at Carson, I was like, bro, do you know her? And he was like, I think I've heard her name, but I don't know who she is. And I was like, she's mean. I said worse words, but this is a family-friendly channel.
YouTube channel. Hello.
Yes. So, basically, I think all y'all can imagine what I said. I was like, this girl is rude. So then I'm like, well, you know what? She can just go on about her day. I just won't be nice. So we go and we had our first psychology class. I walk in. Guess who's in the class? This mean girl, okay? So
I'm
me and
not
Karsten.
actually mean. I just come off as mean.
She's a beautiful soul. She's a flower. But when you meet her, she just hasn't bloomed to you. That was a good way.
Thorns.
She does. So I'm like, oh god, this girl's in this class. Like, this is gonna suck. She better not talk to me. So we sit in the back because back of the class gang is where it's at. Snacks and phone for days.
You can play on your phone anywhere as long as you're sneaky.
I'm a good person. But peanut M&Ms and Mountain Dew in the back of class, smacking, okay? Straight smacking. Highly recommend. But pay attention. Do good in school.
Family friendly.
Succeed in life. So, I met her there. We sort of got a little bit closer. Now your side of meeting me.
So I don't remember her holding the door open for me. So like the first time I seen her was in psychology. She sat, like she said, in the back corner. She didn't specify the corner. Like,
I was up in timeout.
all the way against the wall.
Yeah, that's right.
And I sat in the middle section to the other side of the classroom against the wall. And my friend Caitlin and I were sitting there, and like Morgan kept giving me like glances like, who are you and why are you looking at me? Like,
little did she know it was like, dang, who are you? But she didn't know that.
So I was like, if she looks at me one more time the wrong way, I'm about to go over there and say something. Like, at this point, I'm like ready to just full on like go at it and like lay her out.
Keep in mind, I am 5'9". She is 5'4". I am up there in weight. She's down there in weight. But she was ready to pummel. So, okay, sorry.
So then a couple days passed and I seen Caitlin texting someone named Morgan. I was like, who is that? She was like, Morgan from psychology. I was like, give me her number. And she was like, no. I was like, give me her number. Like, I just want to text her. I want to play 8-ball too, Caitlin. I just want to text her. She's like, Jordan, if you want her number so bad, just ask her for it. I was like, no, I can't do that. So then a couple more nights had passed, and it was a couple days before February 7th, I would say. Like, before we, like, officially were, like, talking every day.
It was probably, like, February 1st.
So she posted on her on her Instagram story and was like, hit me up. And it was, like, 11:30 at night. So I just...
This is the wall. I only posted that so she would slide up and talk to me. Also, I deleted it right after she texted me. Play.
So I slid up on it. I was like, shouldn't you be in bed?
Like
it all
mom.
started with me being your mom, literally.
Really? Like, you hated me? Mom?
Hey, how are you?
Like, that's how it worked.
But we stayed up till like 2:33, knowing we had to get up at 6 o'clock for school the next morning.
6 o'clock?
I got up at 6 o'clock.
I got up at 7:35.
This was when I went to school, like, looking my best at all times.
I look like this. Hoodie, messy bun.
Maybe
if I was feeling good.
Straightened my hair
my glasses.
every day. Like, my hair was never naturally wavy like it is right now. I straightened it every day. I had on a full face of makeup.
Taking up all our time. You need to talk.
Okay. So then we stayed up till like 2:33, and I like literally made her stay up while I went and got chicken nuggets from the fridge.
I made the worst mistake of my life that night and dozed off. I didn't know. Apparently, you can't call on Instagram.
This was back before they updated it, and you couldn't.
This girl was texting me so many times and so fast. I thought I had like 4 or 5 missed calls. Like, it was like repeatedly buzzing. So I wake up and I'm like, yes? And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you dozed off. I just wanted to get chicken nuggets. And I was like,
I was like offended that you fell asleep on me.
At 2 in the morning.
If you can't run with the big dogs, don't start it. Thank you.
Carry on with this.
Next. So then, like, we just started talking more in class, texting
A
more.
lot.
I would walk her to her... They had, like, a bus that came and picked up her private school kids every day. And
That's so cute.
I would, like, walk her to it every day.
Every day.
It was, like, bye, Mo. Bye, Joe. So that's how...
But I was, like, awkward, so, like, I wanted to hug her, and I was, like, I can't.
Like, we literally didn't hug for the longest time.
Oh, yeah, that's a big part of our story. Like, because... Okay, wait. So, basically, she walked into the store because my parents...
I think the first time we hugged was when I was mad at someone and you, like, pulled me back by my book bag and, like, spun me around and you, like, embraced me in your arms and was like, it's okay, calm down. Besides, like, the whole me sitting on your lap thing.
So, we've been texting a lot.
We got caught. And she was, like, ripped. It was, like, literally one night we were texting after she went to bed. And she was, like, texting me 1 minute, and the next she, like, dropped off the face of the earth for, like, 6 months. Like, the only time I seen her, like, they even pulled her out of the college classes. So, like, I didn't see her on campus. I didn't know how she was, what she was doing, if she needed anything, like, any of that.
That just goes back to my, the way I was raised, because that being in my life was a huge alarm set off in my parents, and they just felt the need to completely shut everything.
They wanted to do what they thought was her best interest at the time. Like,
yes,
they wanted to.
It wasn't really.
They didn't want to keep you so much as sheltered as they wanted you to stay on, like, the right path.
Yeah, so they sort of took away everything that could possibly get me into. Like, I wasn't really allowed to go out with friends. I wasn't going to college. I didn't have my phone, so they were kind of taking away all the areas that I could get a hold of her, and. I mean, we wouldn't talk for
6-7 months at a time. I think the longest we went was like 8 or 9, though.
Yeah, we got caught multiple times. A lot of stuff. It was rough. There were a lot of times that I got banned from my sports teams, which is a huge thing for me. So I played a lot of sports.
I think that broke my heart a lot. Is that they decided to take your sports away from you. I was like, well, if they're gonna, like, literally take her sports away from her, I don't want to get her in that kind of trouble. And I started to, like, pull away some. I was like...
Which then broke me.
I was like, if her sports would mean that much to her, like, I don't want to be the one to stop her from going to college on a scholarship. Like,
I think what she didn't know, though, is as much as sports are a part of my life, which they are. I mean, basketball, volleyball. I played a little bit of softball, soccer, all of it. Huge passion. More than that, people are my passion. So, like, them taking my friends and not being able to really hang out with my friends, and them taking her, that almost hurt me worse. But I get all that taken away. I had a previous year or two of really bad anxiety and depression through 14, 15, 16.
So then it just hit like a semi-truck hit her. It was like... it was bad.
It was bad. And she actually didn't get first-hand look because she didn't get to talk to me for months.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until, like, a year later that everything had happened during that time. But it was, like, it was low. But she's built up from it. She's doing good now.
I'm good.
She only has, like, party anxiety now. Like, my family's really big, so, like, her meeting my family is, like...
People. Skittish. Which is funny, because people are my passion, but when there's a lot,
I can't breathe. Like crowds.
I can't breathe.
Like, if I take her shopping, it's like, no. Like, I have to know where I'm going, what aisle it's on, and exactly what item I'm getting.
What's the point of roaming?
That way I can buy more things.
Well, that's where you go bankrupt. So, let's move away from that.
But, okay, so, like, let's fast forward, because that's all we did for, like, the first 3 years.
The first 3 years was a lot.
It was a lot of getting caught,
running while we had communication, and just praying we didn't get caught.
Well, when we got caught, we started talking again. We, like, started over from the beginning. It felt like I had lost my best friend. I was like, I haven't seen her in so long. Like, where do I start? What do I ask her about? I don't know anything that she's been doing. How do I keep a conversation going?
Which built a ton of our trust, though.
Yeah, we have a lot of trust for each other now.
Because we went so many months without talking.
I didn't know what was going on her side. She didn't know what was going on mine.
I sort of had to trust that the feelings I had for her and the loyalty,
were mutual.
The whole loyalty that I had for her were going both ways.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good that even after several months, I got, like, a few weeks to talk to her, I figured out she was still feeling that way about me. And it just really, it was...
That's one thing I think we both made sure of, is, like, when we got to talk, It didn't matter how awkward it was in the beginning. We, like, made sure that the other person knew, like, the feelings were still there. They were still being reciprocated.
There was always, like,
always a reassurance level to when
I
we
hope
got
you're
to talk.
okay, and just know that I
okay,
still
yeah.
love you.
I'm still here. I'm still fighting for us just as much as you are, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, in a way, like, we're hardcore best friends more than we are just, like, together.
Yeah, like, no one really thinks we're together until we, like, literally flat out tell them, like, dude, that's my girlfriend. They think we're legit just best friends.
We're just like, I don't know, we're that comfortable with each other. Maybe that's why everyone asks us if we're still in, like, how we're still in the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, it's because we've been ripped away from each other so long. Like, we're so comfortable with each other. We literally could have the weirdest conversations that, like, normal people
I know exactly what you're thinking about.
Normal people don't have. And we have them, and we're like, oh, cool, dude.
We're just on a whole new level of friendship, bro.
I didn't even know that, but they telling me.
So we're just real close. But we also, like, pick on each other like we're best friends. Like, I'll just walk up to her and just, like, I'll either say something I know is gonna get her.
Oh,
or
I know.
I'll just full on, like, if she's standing by the bed, I'll just full on, like, push her on the bed. And then it starts, like, a full on war. Like, we will wrestle for, like, 20 minutes.
And then we lay there laughing. There was one night we were literally, like, laying in bed watching a movie, and I told her laugh sounded like a walrus, so she laid in bed looking like a walrus for, like, 10 minutes. And I think that's the loudest and hardest my abs have poked out from laughing.
Like, we were just
I was laughing
up.
so loud.
We're just super, like, that's just how we are all the time. So
let's go to the second to last time we got caught before you went on your trip to New York, because then that will lead into the other one.
Okay.
So it was July 7th. I was working at Pelicans at the time, and
I used to tell my parents I wanted Pelicans
just to come and see me at work.
Yeah, so it was pretty. She came to some of my basketball games,
but like all discreetly, I would hang out with her friend Reagan, and I would bring a friend just to, because like my school mixed up with their school to like make a team. Because
the issue was my parents knew
that I didn't have the right motive of being
They
there.
know almost everyone around town. So really, if anyone saw me with a blonde girl that wasn't Reagan, also shout out to Reagan, that's my bestie. If they saw me with a blonde girl that wasn't Reagan,
like her
majority of the time, my parents were told.
They knew before she even like got home.
That made it even more difficult to sneak around. Like when I tell you we were sneaking around, like it was ultimate
like
ninja,
undercover spies or something.
Like we're talking ninja. Okay, like I don't even know how we pulled it off. I'm the ninja.
But I'm glad we have a story for a later video about how well we are at pulling stuff off.
Okay, no. So yeah, it made it super difficult. And July 7th.
So I was working, and so I don't want to throw Karsten under the bus, but like he admitted it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
No.
Oh well, I'm just gonna say me and Karsten worked together. And Morgan came in, and I had been on FaceTime with her before when she went to Pelican, so, like, I knew her order. And since Reagan hadn't even started talking yet to order, because Morgan made sure not to come in, like, to make it obvious. I
sat outside to make it not, like...
less obvious that I was there, that she didn't know. So, like, Reagan walked up there, and before she even started talking, I called out Morgan's order. The next thing I know, like, Morgan, like, I think she got a phone call from her mom or something. I seen her pick up her phone like she was on the phone. Well, then she went home, and I didn't hear from her until, like, September, October.
It was November, yeah.
Yeah, September, October.
Which, like, Karsten had been in the mindset of...
That's wrong.
That's wrong. I need to tell them.
I need to keep her on that path,
it was sort of... Which, even past that, like, I don't even think... People just knew that... if something was fishy, they just brought it up.
They just brought it up for safekeeping.
So, yeah, so that's how that went, which me and Karsten
So then we started talking again in September. I think it was September. I think that's what my Snapchat memory says.
Yes.
So, like, we would randomly, like, try and meet up before she went and see Reagan. We would...
I mean, we were, like, so desperate to see each other. It'd be, like, me whip in the gas station, say hey, hug, and jet out.
Yeah, like, it was, like, just, like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? And then, when do you think we're going to talk again? Type of question.
Because I couldn't really text her when I was at home unless it was, like, the middle of the night.
Yeah, so then December rolled around. we did that from September till December. And then we went on our first trip together since we had started talking. We just went to see Christmas lights, which I'm a big fan of Christmas. She is not, so I'm so surprised I convinced her to see Christmas lights with me.
Basically, we did really good from September to about
December.
July.
July to September, we were not talking, but from September
till the
of
next
2018
July, till this past July, we were doing good. Like, we were finding ways for her to come hang out with me and my friends. We were kind of like, we were doing really good. And sort of last minute, it was July 7th. Never forget it. I went to her house early in the morning.
No, that was not in July, babe. That was in May. That's why I'm trying to get you back on track. So from July 7th of 2018 to September, we didn't talk. And then December of 2018 is when we did start talking, because you were already working at your job by then.
Okay, so May.
So she went and stayed at her friend's house the night before, and then came over that morning and was over there like 7 o'clock. Like, I got out of bed for this girl. I made her breakfast.
Oh yeah, that was like wife material. I walked in and there was like waffles, and I was like, "Oh, I'm about to put a ring on it."
I like made her breakfast at 7 o'clock in the
It
morning.
was pretty intense. So basically, we're watching movies, we're just chilling on her couch, all that stuff. Next thing you know, I get a call from my dad. This is never good, especially when I'm at
She like
Jordan's house.
runs out of the living room into my bedroom.
Well, she
to
has a
take the
dog,
call.
so I was like, "Dude, Dinah, do not speak right now." So I'm like, "Sup, Dad?" And he said he wanted me to come home, and
So he was sick the night before, so she thought
something was really wrong, and I'm like super protective, so I'm like, "Dude, what's wrong? Are my littles okay?" All that stuff. So I'm kind of like, okay. So I'm like, I'll head home. And before I could even walk out of the room, he calls me again and is like, "Where are you?" And he was like, "You need to come home." I was like, "Dad, I'm coming home, okay?" So I say bye to her and everything, and I'm walking out.
I almost walked her out to her car.
So I walk out, and I see a truck at the end of her road, and I'm like, "That's weird." But I don't think anything of it. I pull out. I'm pulling up. It's my dad in his truck. And
Outside my house.
He rolls it down the window, and I roll down mine. He's like, "Whose house is this? Whose house is this?" And I'm like, "It's Jordan's." I was like, "You know whose house it is?" And so he's like, "Come home." So I came home. Long story short, there was a lot of talking going on.
A lot of tears.
A lot of tears. It was very emotional. It was...
I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know, because like she had turned 18 in between the times of us not talking. So I didn't know if it was going to be another going 6-7 months without talking to her, if it was going to be like the last straw, if they were just going to send her about her way. And it's like,
So we didn't really know. So a lot of crying, a lot of talking.
I was literally sitting at my kitchen table shaking, hovering my phone the entire time.
And that's what, if anyone out there's like in the same situation,
just push through it.
Well, even past that, like, your parents
want what's best for you.
They love you. They love you a lot. I think a lot of parents just don't know how to handle someone being with the same gender.
They grew up in a different age than we did, and it was more so not okay back when they were growing up than it is now.
So, but I'm saying, no matter what happens in your situation, you need to understand that your parents love you, and that what they're doing might be wrong as far as what the world says is wrong, but in their hearts, they're doing what they think's right for you.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to keep you on that
You
path.
don't need to say, like, "Man, I hate my parents." Like,
don't
they just
take
hated
it out
me.
on your parents.
I love my parents dearly. I love my whole family. I know now that what they did was what they thought was right, and I can't blame them for that. I've done things that I thought were
parents,
right.
we would do the same thing. Not like same situation, but like we're gonna keep our kids on the pretty straight path too. We're gonna have,
and we might do things that we think is right that end up not being right.
Yeah, other people are gonna be like, "That's
but I
not
hope
right."
the kids never doubt our love.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my parents did a good job at me never doubting their love. And like to this day, I mean, me and my mom, me and my dad, we will just randomly say, "I love you." I love them to death. So keep your head up if you're in that situation. And it could really pay off.
Yeah, if you guys ever need us, like, you guys can message us. Like, we're here if you need legit advice about it. Like,
And
don't
you may
hit a
get
blow.
your girl or guy. I got my girl. And you got to keep your head up. I mean, I went through 3 or 4 years of
It being rough.
We're talking real rough. And
But don't let your lows get the best of you. There's always another high to that low.
For sure.
You just got to you got to want something enough to keep wanting to fight for it.
Mm-hmm. So, that's our story. That is our inspirational ending. Because that was golden, okay? Let us know what you guys want for the next video.
Leave it down in the comments.
Mojo is always here for you.
We love you guys.
We
You guys
love all
are our
of you.
family now.
100%. We're the Mojo
We
fam.
don't have a name for your followers
We need-
yet. So drop it down below. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications every video we post. I think we're going to start doing it once a week.
We
starting
need a
out.
group name, okay?
Every YouTube channel has.
I ain't
like,
about this
something-
like people who follow us.
Thanks.
Like,
No,
no.
you guys are family. You deserve a name.
Okay. We love you. Until next time, I might have a bandage on my finger. Okay?
Bye.